So, I'm going to let the chat decide which character I'm going to play. I have beaten the game with both of them. So you all vote now, please. Alright. I'm doing it. Boop. Okay, so this guy turns up if your previous run at least made it to the first boss and gives you a little boost to start with. So, money is good, but a random rare card is good too. What I like to do with this is pick up my first few cards and then decide what I'm going to do deck-wise from that and try and aim towards it. Because that seems to lead to success, whereas otherwise seems to lead to failure. So, we have got Alchemize, obtain a random potion, exhaust. That's not very good. Okay, well that's fine. Alright, so in terms of getting cards that I want then, because I can more or less decide what to aim for, I want to head for a merchant early, because they have a good variety of stuff. Generally they'll have cards that you want, and that you need to live, so I'm going to start here. I might ask for the chat to make some decisions for me, but to begin with, I'm just going to do what I know how to do. Okay, so this bird-looking asshole will cast a buff on himself that increases his power every round, and then he'll keep hitting you harder and harder until he's dead. So we're going to begin by punching him in the face for free, because that's one of the silent special abilities, is the neutralize attack. And then we're just going to stab him twice. And then, yeah, just do that because we can. So you start out with a fairly basic deck of attack and defend cards that give you that either do damage to an enemy or give you block, which prevents damage from an enemy for that turn only. And you have to strategize. So he's now applied that buff to himself. Now he's going to attack me and do 6 damage. We need to be ready. We need to be ready for his bullshit. So because it's 6 damage, if I go ahead and use Survivor... Wait a minute. Potions are fairly... Also, is it me, or is the font on that different to everything else? Might just be me. No, I'll tell you what. I'm going to use a regular defend for 5 block, because I'm only going to take 1 damage, and that's, you know, who cares. I'm going to use that for a free potion for the future. That lets me chuck fire in somebody's face and do 20 damage. That's pretty sweet. And then stab him! Okay. All seems good. Yeah. Oh no, we have taken HP damage. Sadness has reigned. Alright, so now he's doing 9 damage, so it's considerably more difficult not to get damaged. So I could defend twice to block all of that. Only leave me 1 stab, though. I am going to take the 9 damage and just stab him 3 times in the fucking throat. Ha! Make sure I can get him next turn. I'll take 9 now, so I don't have to take more later, as I run out of opportunities to block. Aha! So we'll hit him with that. That weakens his attacks for 1 round, but it's not going to matter because I stabbed him dead. He's bleeding out of the throat. Alrighty. Ooh, now there's some interesting choices. So I like this card. My 1 successful run with the Silent, because it took me a long time to finally beat it, involved using this card and a lot of Shiv cards, and just stab, 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 stab. And every time I would stab, it would get me, you know, bonuses based on the other stuff I'd picked up. So every 3 stabs would get me some block, I think it was, or some agility, which increases the amount of block you get. And every card I played was getting me some block, so I was getting to some ridiculous numbers of block by the end. So yeah, I'm going to try for that kind of deck again. Go for the infinite blades. Right. So that's 11 damage to the face. So let's block 10 of it. Take 1 and set up infinite blades, because I like to shiv. 'Tis fun. 'Tis good. 'Tis blarg. So a shiv is a 0-cost attack card which then exhausts itself. Exhaust meaning you can only use it once per combat. So you get a free attack, but then it goes away, so you have to generate more of them if you want to do some more of it. Right. He is going to block and buff. So he's not attacking me, so I don't need to defend myself this round. So, let's go all out with the stabs. We'll do a neutralized punch, we'll do a strike stab, and we'll shiv him in the face. And then other things. I mean, I'm going to block anyway, because you discard your cards whether you use them or not at the end of each round. And when you get to the end of your draw pile, the discard pile reshuffles into it, as visually was just displayed for you. So most cards you can reuse as you go, except for ones that exhaust themselves. Right, stick a neutralize on, that'll mean he does less damage this round. Then we can afford to block twice to block all that damage, because I don't want to take it, I don't like taking damage. And stab, shiv, combo! Yeah, that. Basically, it's a one-use thing per fight. It doesn't come out of your deck permanently, but for that one combat, it then ends up in this pile. And there are some cards that allow you to access this exhausted pile and bring them back. Stuff like that. Right, this is a considerably more unfortunate turn. Can I kill him? So we can do 6, 12, 18, and then 22. Yes, we can. Stab! 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 Super stab! Love it. This is Slay the Spire. It's a roguelike card game deck builder. It is friggin' awesome. It might be my favourite game ever at the moment. And I've been playing an absolute shitload of it because it's awesome. So, battles will always give you cards and money. Like regular battles. So that's how you build regular cards into your deck. You've also got elite enemies who give you what are called relics, which are like passive or bonuses or one-time boosts that you accumulate across the top here. So you always start with the relic. In this case, it's this one. For the silent, it lets you draw 2 cards on the first turn. So, yeah, like a rogue, you move fast. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Anyway. Okay, so we've got some interesting stuff here. I've never used these cards, the ones that you can't play but do stuff if you discard them. I am going to take a poison stab. Because if I'm using a shiv deck, I want to be doing a lot of attacks, because then hopefully I can get the relics that tie into that. And poison is great. Poison might be OP. So yeah, I'll take one of those. Okay, another regular battle. It's against small amounts of slime. Mouse is dying very slowly. So let's hit a neutralize on there. So now we're taking 9 damage. And then I'm gonna prevent all of that by blocking twice. And again, we'll set up our infinite blades. Maximum stab. I've seen They Are Billions mentioned, but I don't know anything about it. Mayhap you could enlighten me. Oh, we got a status card. So those are unplayable cards that just get bunged into your deck, increasing the size of it and thus making it less likely you draw the things you want. You might end up destroying crap that you can't do anything with. But there are some cards, like Survivor, which force you to discard a card, and you can discard the crap ones. So you can kind of get around it sometimes. I know what I mean, anyway. Speaking of Survivor, it's probably a good choice right now. So let's throw that down. And now I know I'm blocking 8, which is all I'm taking. I can afford to discard this defend card, because I won't need it this round. Now I'm going to throw Alchemize out, just so I get a potion. And you know what, let's use one of those. So potions, yeah, you can carry up to 3 potions, each one has a slightly different effect, and they're kind of outside the normal loop. So you can use them at any point during your turn, they don't cost you anything. Like your mana, or energy in this case. And yeah, they can often swing a battle and save you from a horrible death. So yeah, since I've got 3, I'm going to use one here, just to give him poison. And then stab him! Oh, okay, well, that sounds kind of cool. Ouch. So yeah, we've got a negative status card there as well. Poison, as you'd expect, does damage every turn, but the amount it'll do will decrease by 1 each turn. So you've got a number next to it there, which is 5. So it'll do 5 damage, 4 damage, 3 damage, 2 damage, 1 damage. But as you add more poison, it does more damage with that hit. So you can get to some pretty ludicrous poison numbers. To the point where I actually killed a boss on the first turn without him doing anything because of poison. It was hilarious. Right, so we're taking 3 damage from this asshole. I could just straight kill him, though. I think I might do that. Unfortunately, it's going to take... because I've been weakened which reduces the power of your attacks, in this case for a single turn. So, it would take at least 3 attacks to get rid of him. I could do it though. 4 and then 3 and then 3, that would do it. That's probably the way to go. So we'll stab him regularly once and then we'll shiv him twice and he's gone. So now we're not taking any damage. I don't need to defend. We can chuck everything else at this guy. Increases poison by stabbing him with a poison and then stabbing him with a regular knife. All the stabbing, all the time. Right, now what? Okay. Ooh, those are all pretty good as well. So dexterity increases the amount of block you gain. Each point of dexterity is an extra point of block, which exponentially becomes very powerful. But at the moment, I haven't got a lot of defensive cards to make use of that. Oh, also, it's a power card, which means you can only use it once. It doesn't exhaust, it's just a one-use thing per battle. Because you generally need it more than once. So then there's deal damage every time you're attacked, which is also very good. This one I'm not as sold on. Each time I tried to use it, it seems to not quite justify its 2 energy cost, considering you only get 3 energy per turn. So it limits what you can actually do. I'm going to take footwork, I think, because I like that one. Getting block is good, and the silent kind of relies on it, because you don't have a lot of health. Let's buy some things. We made it to the happy mask salesman that is the merchant. So he is selling some hot garbage. But he also allows you to remove a card from your deck each time you visit him, which can be very handy to get rid of curse cards, which are like permanent bad cards, which you don't want. Or just anything you don't think you need to keep your deck slim. Because the fewer cards that you have, the more likely you are to draw the ones you need or want at any given time. That said, I don't think I necessarily need to do that at the moment. It's reasonably pricey as well. Let's... I'm going to leave it, actually. I'm not going to get anything. Nothing there is jumping out at me enough. Alright, so now we have a choice to make. Do we go for a regular battle onto this path, or a unknown, which can be like an event thing where you might get a freebie, or you might have to make a choice between 2 options, some of them good, some of them bad, or it might just be a random battle. That can happen too. And it would lead to this, which allows you to gain hit points back by resting or upgrade one of your cards, which makes them stronger. And this is an elite enemy who will, as I said, give you a relic, powerful passives. I like relics. Relics are cool, and I don't really have any cards I desperately want to upgrade at the moment, so we're going to go this way. The way which has more stabbing involved. Nahaha! This guy's an asshole. He can do a lot of damage and apply some nasty debuffs while also attacking. Well, obvious first choice. Hit him with a weakened, because it's free. And we've got 9 damage to worry about. So, let's set this up now, because this is a permanent effect for the rest of the battle. 2 dexterity, 2 extra block for every block card, so now I'm getting 7 from my defense. So I can actually afford to only do 1 of them and then poison stab him. We'll take 2 damage, but what's 2 damage, right? Who cares? Nobody. Oh, yeah, no, it upgrades each card individually, and I can't upgrade the Shiv card, because I technically don't have that in my deck. They're generated by activating this. So at the start of each turn, it gives me a Shiv to use, but it won't be in my deck from that point. So yeah, you can upgrade the Shiv card in other ways, though. There are cards that make all Shivs do more damage for them. Anyway, he is not attacking this round. He's being an asshole and putting a debuff on me. So, I'm going to use my Dexterity Potion, because I've got Alchemize. I can always replace my potions. Actually, it's a better card than I was giving it credit for, so I'll probably hang on to it. Right, so yeah, we'll drink that. Now we have a 4 Dexterity, so each defend card is giving me 9 block, which is considerably more successful. And we can use our energy to do fun things, like stab, ha, and create more opportunities for stab, and brew a potion. That is a very handy potion. It will negate the next debuff. Let's drink it now so we don't get debuffed. Debuffing sucks. Yeah, Entangle is not my favourite debuff. Entangle basically doesn't let you play any attack cards the following round, and I hate it. Can I murder him? I cannot, but I can defend myself. If I'm going to do it twice, I don't want to take any damage this round, and I can still attack twice because of my shiv. I like a shiv in the face. Hogs of War is probably my best overall series, I think. Current, well, most recent Advance Wars 1 series notwithstanding. Right, so this is a free card, so most of the time you want to just play it if you have it in your hand. Unless you have some way to preserve it, which you do get cards to do. But yeah, you're going to discard it at the end of the round anyway, so... Bop! Now he's down to 6. We can block just once to prevent all of that, and get to the stabbing! I mean, he's dead anyway, so it's all irrelevant. I enjoy stabbing far too much. And yes, there is one relic I can think of that just gives you a flat 1 dexterity every battle. There's another one that will give you dexterity every time you perform 3 attacks in a round, which works really well with a Shiv deck, because they're all 0-cost attacks. You just stab, stab, stab. And yeah, there's tons of them. I haven't even unlocked all of the relics yet. Okay, so I don't like any of those cards for what I'm currently doing, so I'm going to skip. You don't always have to add a card, and indeed, most of the time, it might not be a good idea, because you just bloat your deck with crap you don't really need. Right, now for an elite enemy. These are kind of like sub-bosses, really. Fortunately, this is one of the easier ones. These guys will always perform the same 2 actions in sequence. They'll attack, or they'll throw some status cards into your deck. And they just alternate between the 2. They've also got this effect which allows them to ignore the first debuff they take, which is annoying, but you can work around it. Right, I only have... Well, I've got enough defend to do something. Let's go ahead and... I like my health too much. We're going to block twice. I don't want to take any damage this round. And we'll get the shivs set up for later. Yeah. Alchemize can wait. And yeah, I strongly recommend this game for anyone who has even the remotest love of roguelikes or card games or both. And again, I don't usually do early access because I'm very, very skeptical about it as a principle. But this is absolutely fantastic. One of the best games I've played in a long time. So I'm going to use this just to knock that anti-debuff thing off him in case I need to debuff him later. And now I need to accumulate 16 blocks somewhere along the line. Should be able to do that. That'll be 10, that'll be 18. So I need to use my entire turn to do that. But that's fine. We'll get rid of our regular strike card. Block up so we're not taking any damage. And get a freebie with the Shiv. That's another reason I like Shivs. It frees you up to block with all your energy, so you can still attack and still get damage going. Do it, Super Rucksack! I strongly recommend that you do. Necromunda ain't that great anyway, says Malus, having not actually ever played it. Not even in its old form. Okay, so now we're back to taking only 8 at once. I've got a lot of stuff I can do here. I want this. I'll improve all my blocks. Now I'm only going to take 1 damage with 1 block. I'll take that. And we can poison stab our friend who has no debuff protection. Yeah! And then shiv him. Yeah! Yes, it's all falling into place now. Yeah, there's no milling yourself in this game, which is nice. Because your cards just cycle. Because you discard your hand every round. Right, so now we're back to 16 damage and I only have 1 block card. So this is the status card I was talking about. Each time they use their debuff, they stick 2 of these into your discard pile. So when your deck gets shuffled back together, you've got these useless fucking cards in there using up space and making you sad. But after your turn, yeah, I mean, you can read the text, I don't need to read it for you. If it's in your hand at the end of your turn, poof. So we're going to be taking some heat this round, which is not ideal. Can we do anything about this? Yeah, I'd say we can. Let's chuck an exploding potion at this asshole. Woomph! Instant 20 damage. And then we'll just shiv him to finish him off. So now we're only taking 8. And if I use a block, now we're only taking 1. Aha! Malus has mathsed his way out of this problem. I'm going to replace that potion also. It's another poison potion. That's fine. And stab. Done. I've heard that. People seem to love Necromunda. I never had the opportunity to play it, so I can't make an informed opinion about whether it's good or not. But this is better. This is more worth your money. Okay, so once again... So now we're only ever going to be taking 8 at once, because they're going to alternate between attacking and buffing, and they're on opposite schedules, I suppose you'd say. Odd choice of words. In any case, another defend, just to take 1 damage. In fact, energy-wise, I might as well just block twice, because I've got literally nothing else I can do with the energy I have. You don't gain anything for preserving your energy unless you have a particular relic, which I hope I get, because it's one of the best ones in the game. Other than that, just continue to stab. It's the thing we know how to do best. Yeah, wound it does not disappear. Dazed is one of the few that does. There's some nasty ones as well. We're gonna throw these down because it's 3 free damage if nothing else. And there. Okay, so yeah, I see what we need to do here. We'll get 10 block out Survivor. We'll discard one of these. It does mean it's gonna cycle back round again rather than disappearing, but I'd rather that than get rid of the only other card I can actually play this round. Boop and Shiv. Yeah, that. Right, so we can kill this asshole now. Zip. Zoop. Hey, I hit the wrong guy. Malus is dumb and doesn't know how to click on the right thing. Alright, we'll just defend up, because I'm not going to take any damage anyway. Blark. Right, so this time, let's actually stab him. Blarg. And use Survivor and get rid of a Daze, just to make sure I don't take any damage. Survivor is a great card, and you get it by default, playing as the Silent. It's like one of their class abilities, I suppose you'd say. Anyway, stabbing. Stabbing will ensue now. It will ensue. Any turn where you're not stabbing is a turn wasted. And he's not attacking, so I can go full stab. I mean, I can block as well, but I'm going to go full stab. Like for realsies stab, absolutely. But yeah, I haven't really been following it, so I don't know, as I said, if Power Creeper's fucked with it. Anyway, I'm going to kill this guy with multiple stab wounds to the face! Right, the Bronze Scales is a great relic. Every time you get hit, 3 damage to the person who did it to you. Which is fantastic when you come up against enemies who do multiple small hits because they kill themselves. Okay, so we got some good cards here. Finisher is great in the kind of deck that does a lot of little attacks, because then it just does a massive combo finish for 1 energy, which is amazing. However, Bouncing Flask is one of my favourite cards in the game, because against bosses and single elite enemies in particular, it just gives them a lot of poison immediately. It's costly, and I haven't got a lot of other poison working for me right now, so I'm going to take Finisher. Go for the full stab, right? Maximum stab.